Hey friends, happy Friday. I hope you are doing great. I have been absent here in this group. I was preparing for and then guiding and also participating in the Nourish to Heal program. I know I posted about that in this group. Hopefully this is not the first time you've heard about it. And just want to get back in the groove of going live here and staying connected with you. But that experience of doing this program was pretty profound to the point where I am continuing it. And so it might be interesting for you to hear the reasons why I found it so beneficial. And I'm hoping that this inspires you to make your own lifestyle and dietary changes as well. Remember, everything is connected, and that's what I'm going to get into here, is that I didn't just experience changes in my body, but in my life in general. So there were 7 main things that I noticed. And the first is that I am pretty close to identifying either a food intolerance, or it could be that I was just eating this particular food in excess. So the reason why I wanted to do this cleanse, the reason why I've done them in the past, is to help my body deal with inflammation that seems to be at the root of my thyroid condition, of weight gain, and with some pain. In particular, these last few months, I've been experiencing a lot more pain than usual, and I am not going to say that it is age related, because I do not buy that people expect to have certain symptoms as they age. Pain should not be one of those. And if you do have pain, there's usually a reason for that. So I've done elimination diets in the past, and I've always been really quick to bring foods back in. And so I wanted to be slower and more deliberate this time, knowing I was going to be held accountable for actually leading this cleanse. So remember that we are taking out alcohol, gluten, processed foods, which means that we're not eating hydrogenated oils, polyunsaturated oils, which go rancid in the body and can create inflammation. So that is no junk food. Also, caffeine is out. And did I say sugar? So sugar is out. Those are the main ones. And then if you have a chronic health condition, I was also suggesting that you take out dairy, soy, and corn, which can also be inflammatory. You may have an intolerance to other foods as well, but those are the main ones that most people need to take out of their diet to get a clearer picture of what is going on. And since I do have a health condition that was in remission and is back, I wanted to go a little further, so I took out all of those foods and substances. Now, this wasn't a huge shift to me, because I'm sorry that this sounds obnoxious, but my diet is pretty clean to begin with. So I don't consume alcohol or caffeine. I don't have a lot of junk food, but I had been eating a lot of chips and sugar too. I don't have a lot, again, compared to most people. But since October, since Halloween, and this does happen every year, that I have a little more sugar than usual from then until Easter. And then that's when I clean things up. So the very big deal for me was taking out dairy. And so I have a feeling that it's either dairy or it is reducing the processed foods and these oils that are so common in all foods, and especially if you go out to eat. So I've been in control of making my foods, and what I've noticed is the weight is starting to go down. I am waking up feeling ease in my body again, because I was feeling a lot of pain in my legs. When I woke up, I was feeling a lot of pain in my back at night before I went to bed. Most of that has diminished, especially the pain in the morning. And also my digestion has been super, super smooth. And that is one of the main things you want to look out look at when you're doing a cleanse like this is to make sure you're doing a food journal, taking note of your symptoms every day, and digestion is huge. Also sleep and your mood, and all of that has been pretty positive for me as I've moved through the week. So I believe I'm on day like 12 or something of the cleanse, and I'm super good so far. I also recognized what my addictions were. And I know that this is a reason why a lot of people don't want to do cleanses like this, because they don't know what their world would be like without having caffeine or alcohol, or in my case, dairy, again, was the thing that I was most attached to. And I could see now that I can live without it. And what is reinforcing that is that I am seeing the benefits beyond that. Now, I will admit that I did bring butter back in the last couple of days. I really believe that butter is a very high nutrition food and can benefit many people. It's much easier to digest than those other oils I was talking about. And I was just craving the creaminess and especially the salted butter on vegetables. So I brought that in, and I'm not seeing a big difference with my digestion, a little bit on my skin. So I am going to take the butter back out and just play with that. So I was thinking that if it is the dairy, that it might be the high protein content, or again, maybe I was just having too much. But I'm willing to keep it out for longer to see how far I go, to see how far I can improve. So this is hard for me, believe me. It was hard for me to go gluten-free in the beginning, but I knew that that could be damaging my thyroid. I knew that having a lot of caffeine in my diet was keeping me awake for years, so it was easy to take that out. And then I just lost my taste for having alcohol, mainly because it's a lot of calories that I don't need to consume. I'd rather eat and drink other things. So I understand these changes are big. They are a big deal. But we need to admit that these are addictions. Okay, and so there's an emotional need for them. And whenever you are feeling you are held by something with an emotional grip like that, then it's healthy to loosen that grip and really manage it, because we don't want to be led unconsciously by something. And you are strong enough to make a consciously different, more healthy choice. And this may not be forever. But we do take it out to see how well we can do, and then we just bring it in bits by bits. So that was number 2. I'm going to go a little quicker through this list now. So the third was that I realized it was really, really stressful for me to guide through this cleanse. So I was creating content at the same time I was guiding people and doing it myself. That was way too much that I put on my plate, and my family noticed it because I was yelling a lot. My body, I'm being very honest with all of you. This is embarrassing, but I do get cold sores when I get stressed out, and I had 2 on my bottom lip, on my top lip. It could have been a detox reaction as well. But again, I didn't change a whole lot. So I do believe it was stress. Stress is at the root of a lot of health conditions too. So I really took note of this, and I definitely won't be doing that in the future. But this is a message for you too, that if you do decide to do this cleanse or any other, just to make sure that you try to make your life as easy as possible while you're doing it. So I really emphasize preparation before you do the cleanse, so you know what you're going to be eating on certain days. You can prepare the foods well ahead of time. Make sure the whole family is on board and that you have self-care scheduled in. But you definitely don't want to be doing it when you have product launches at work or other huge endeavors. You don't need to put more strain on yourself, because just making these changes is honestly stressful. Any change is stressful. So give yourself grace, please, as you're doing it. Next, I learned as I was putting this more fine focused look on how I was treating my body with food, it was easier to see other ways my life has been either stalled or where areas I was just feeling stuck or stagnant. This is showing up a lot in my home. As I was trying to prepare for this week, I was just noticing all the clutter around me that was impeding my work. So you may know that many studies have been done that have shown that if you have a messy workplace, it makes you less productive. So it would not only affect your work, but your mood. And, when you can't get around your home, it's not a good thing. But there are other areas, maybe for you, it wouldn't be a cluttered home that you're noticing, but maybe other areas of your life that you're just not managing well. Maybe it's finances. I also have that going on with taxes that I've been pushing off since we now have this extension to May. I'm like, oh great, I've just been given more time to procrastinate more. So I do see that happening, and now I have some momentum behind me to start making changes, to clean up as much as I can here and there so it doesn't become more of a problem. So that's just something I'm sharing. You could think about too if you are doing this. I also noticed, so this is number 5, that I lost my taste. Just like you lose your taste for some certain foods that you take out of your diet during a cleanse, I noticed that I lost a taste for certain news programs, really social media in general. I was feeling like I didn't want to place my time and attention there, that I would rather focus on my body all week, and I felt a whole lot better for that. So now that I am trying to re-engage with you all here in this group and my other social media platforms, I'm trying to do it more consciously, where I'm not mindlessly scrolling, that I really am going on here for a purpose to connect, not to argue with anyone. That's also a discipline that you gain from doing something like this, is what is worth my time and attention. So caring for myself, making connections with others is my priority. That is what I want to build up in my life. What else? Number 6. So this may be something that not everyone experiences, but I have definitely noticed that, again, as I'm able to focus more, I am experiencing some things in my body, in my emotions, that are not really mine. And, I'm a health professional. I do some energy work with Qigong, and I'm just noticing that maybe I am taking on the energy and emotions from my clients. Also from this social media experience, there is a dance that we play with energy sometimes. And it's not that I don't have firm boundaries, I think, because you may have heard that as well. If you give too much time, if you give your power away, it can be taken advantage of. I don't think that's what's happening. I think I just have a hard time disconnecting myself. So focusing back on myself and really making a conscious decision to disconnect from this other person and let them heal by themselves after our initial treatment is done. And since I've been more conscious of that, I do feel like I am more in my body, and this is all I'm experiencing, what is mine. I'm working with my essential oils to help clear each evening, and again, I'm feeling so much better, more clear. And then the 7th and final thing is that I've noticed I really enjoy this. Again, I've done programs like this in the past. It feels different now that this is something that I have created, that I have integrated from everything else I've experienced. I've enjoyed working with the ladies who are doing this program with me, and it just feels really good to be in a position to support someone from a distance. So just to give them a little nudge forward and to see them take off. And I will be getting feedback. I don't know if they will experience benefits as profound as I did, but I am interested to hear if they did or not. And I'm really feeling like I do want to go further in more of a health coaching role, because ultimately I do want to be bringing my services more online so I can help more people and maybe even work more with emotions, more with spiritual health, which is where I'm feeling like most people need help at this time. So I'm curious, have you ever done a program like this? And if you have, what ways you have grown? And if you are interested in doing Nourish to Heal, it is an established program now. I may be adding more to it as time goes on, especially if I learn something more, since I'm going to continue this for a month. But there is a very solid amount of content in there right now. I'll put a link to the description below, and you could check that out. For the rest of this month, for April, I'm also offering a discount for our yoga and wellness community for those of you doing this detox program. So again, that expires April 30th. So check it out if you are interested. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and I will see you next week. I'm going to try to get back on a weekly schedule here of connecting in with you. So I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great weekend. Take care.